Yep. Okay. So a user key with user keys as the value. So now I can pattern match on that. All right, so that gets me the user keys, like the updated labels. I think I need to actually have the key ID as a hidden field here because I'm going to need to update the there's a couple ways to do this. So I believe in the change set. So in the socket assigns, there's a change set with the user keys. Yeah, I'm back. Don't know, I guess I must have been offline for a minute or two. So anyway, I've got the user keys in the change set. I could presume or assume that they're in the same order as they were when the page loaded. But I think what I want to do is actually use the ID for each key. So yes, it actually does push HTML, or not just HTML, but it will update values inside of the HTML over the WebSocket. So I don't think I have anything that would demonstrate this clearly right now. I could maybe demonstrate the other app here, but let's see. I'll filter the WebSockets. So this is there's a couple of WebSockets here. This one's for refreshing the page whenever I save my any of my Phoenix files. This longer WebSocket, so this shorter WebSocket here would not be rendered in production. This is just for development. This longer one is where changes are tracked, so and pushed back and forth from the server to the client. So if I changed, let's say I change this value here, the label, I can say Mac OS. I do have like a debounce function, so it's not going to send that. Oh, I need to add the change back to the form. So this is just for demo. Change, we'll do change. So it tells the form to register a change event. So if I change this again to Mac OS Touch ID, then you'll see here in the socket there were these messages being passed to the server. Let's see. Did I put that in the right form? Okay, form, and then yeah. So whenever you perform actions either on the server or on the client, they can push events to each other and update the data that's on the socket as well. So let me clear that out. Let me make sure this, get rid of this change function again. And then I just want to make sure I'm not getting any errors if I hit save changes. Cool, good, nothing's happening. Okay, so I want to put the ID as a hidden field. So I need to import or alias the hidden input. There we go. And then hidden input is going to be, doesn't really need a field, it just needs to be hidden input. Name equals ID. I'm going to inspect and make sure it shows up where I expect it to be. Okay, maybe I do need a field. There we go. Okay, so now I've got the key ID, the value. Okay, very good. So this is the ID for the key that I want to edit. So I just want to make sure that that's being sent back whenever I hit save changes. Oh, I need to inspect my changes so they can show up in the shell. So what I'll do is I'll inspect user keys. Very good. So now I know which key to update for when the label changes. The thing about this is if I just wanted to change one label, it's going to submit all of the keys. And I don't necessarily want to like query the database and figure out what changed and update only the one that changed. That sounds like it could be more database calls than I really want to make. And I think there's a way in Phoenix LiveView to only, I want to say there's, you can only submit the fields that changed somehow. So, all right, Mr. Megami is asking, so does it serve HTML over WebSockets? Talked about that. Do you just talk JSON over the WebSocket? Yeah, I think right now, so essentially under the hood, it's JSON objects being parsed and everything by the client. And so under the hood, MorphDOM is the JavaScript library that kind of abstracts away some of this code for Phoenix LiveView. But yeah, everything shows up as a JavaScript object, and so it's just JSON. And so the client, parses that and then handles it and updates the DOM accordingly. And these things are tracked by, like, each element has a unique ID that's generated automatically, so I don't have to necessarily create IDs for every element on the page that is going to be interactive. It just gets that assigned automatically. And then, yeah, you can add event hooks, like they're Phoenix hooks for individual elements, or in this case, I'm adding a hook, like an event hook for the entire form. And what I'm thinking through right now is, do I want to further break this down? Do I want to submit a change for an individual key, or do I want to hit save changes and then figure out which key changed, like which label changed?